watching Mirador television. It's rubbish. It's a sheer waste of time. Don't waste your time. Stop watching Mirador. Don't.
Well, there you are, the first casualty of the storm. We have been warned that our internet and our social media and all the rest of it will be interrupted. So whether you're getting this or not, I'm not absolutely sure. It says that we're back live, and you had about 2 minutes worth of silence. Probably something that you really, really would enjoy. But anyway, it's wiped almost everything out that we were going to do. Nonetheless, we'll give it the old college try, shall we? But the one that I thought that you might get a kick out of is this one. I think. Um, Not a bit of it. It must be this one then.
Stop watching Mirador television. It's rubbish. It's a sheer waste of time.
Oh dear.
Don't waste your time. Stop watching
It really doesn't
Mirador.
want to play ball. If
Don't.
you can hear me, it doesn't want to play ball this morning. The storm is uh, we should be back in a moment, and hopefully, I suppose that's the way we. That's there we are again. This is the way that I think we have to stay this morning. So let's take a quick trip through. Obviously, don't go outside if you don't have to. A pretty heavy storm today, and it's going to get worse as the day goes by. There could be flying debris. We're not going to be the worst hit in the country, but we're going to be hit. Keep at it, and let's see where the day takes you out there. But it could be that the wind would take you, and I'm certainly not going to wear this hat when I go through the front door because it will be under a bus in no time flat. Keith Hayes out of Mirador Television in Lewes, East Sussex, broadcasting to local people and people around the world. We are local but not parochial. Our weather this morning matches the mood of the entire United Kingdom. Everywhere is being battered. The seas are up, roaring, and the land is finding that tiles are going off the roof, trees are being pulled down, and the transportation system is badly disrupted. Whether, in fact, excuse me, uh, uh, No, that sometimes happens. I have no idea why at this hour of the morning. I've woken up feeling perfectly okay this morning and ready to slay the world after I've spoken to you briefly. Because I think we do need to just do a quick survey of the world, apart from the storm out there, but the storm is vicious. So do be careful. Do be careful. Don't think that it's just whistling Dixie. Whether in fact we can move around this morning or not, I don't know. I shall go out and test in a little while, but I'm quite ready to dive back in. Now, since we can't really play much, I have to say we really can't play much because it seems to keep freezing everything. We could try another again if we wanted, I suppose. It's a difficult one this morning. It's difficult because you never know when by a force majeure it is going to be taken off the. Bit is working. So let's hope that this bit is working because I always like to get you off to a good start. All right, enough fooling around. We've been going for 11 minutes now, and most of that has been cutting the storm actually affecting what we're saying this morning, what we're doing. So let's just take a quick look through the newspapers, and then we'll bugger off. The Metro. Is this what Putin means about pulling out troops? The latest on the Ukrainian front is that President Putin has said, yes, I'll back off a little bit, I shall remove some troops. Joe Biden has said, don't believe a word of it. Our intelligence says that they're not. Now, since spies are notoriously inaccurate and get themselves into a whole host of messes, it's difficult to know what the truth is. But the Metro shows a photograph on its front page of a rocket being fired. Could be fired from anywhere, of course. But its headline is Red Alert. Be prepared. That Putin is selling porkies and that he's ready to invade Ukraine. Other warnings have been that he could invade Ukraine over anywhere in the next couple of months. He just keeps his troops there marching up and down. It's like boots, marching up and down again. But what else is he going to do with them? He's got nothing to defend themselves from home, as far as I'm aware. And this is his major undertaking, military undertaking. The UK braced for the 100-mile-per-hour Stingjet storm. And it explains why we're getting a heavy storm now, a vicious storm now and tomorrow, after we've just had one. And it's all to do with Mother Nature putting things together and stirring a pot like a cauldron. The Daily Mail. Well, what it says at the top, when will-pampered princes realise the age of deference is over. I don't know that the age of deference is over. I think that there is a certain amount of deference, but perhaps the age of privilege is being paired. But, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just because the royal family are privileged at the moment. If they vacate any sort of privilege whatsoever, it will be rapidly filled by other people who want privilege, like bars that can stay open during lockdown. Yeah, everybody's pointing the finger at poor old Boris and his iced cake, but I didn't notice any MPs rushing to say, hey, what are our bars doing open when pubs had been closed? No, I didn't notice that at all. Of course, they have short memories, this bloody lot. They really do. They were all as culpable as each other, all 650 of them, plus the other lot in the Lords. Nobody raised a voice then. Now they're all screaming, oh, they're all so bloody righteous. Well, they are not righteous. They are as bad as one another, and probably bad as the rest of us as well. Except the one thing as a politician is you never admit anything bad. Never, ever, ever. Which makes it, I suppose, all the braver for Boris, and he went into the House of Commons, into that cockpit of heated debate, and did actually fess up. I don't notice too many others doing that. Right. Okay. But basically, the Daily Mail says UK braces for Stingjet storm. The storm, the sun, the 100-mile-per-hour killer storm. Everybody is really quite worried about this storm and warning us. The Daily Spar. This week I shall mostly be staying in my bed, and I think the storm is named Eunice, and no sexism in storms. And whoever is saying that, who cares? Probably a celebrity saying it, but I think it's not a bad place to be, staying at home. Some of those things that need to be done, but I do need to go out, so I'm going to have a go, and I'll let you know if I'm not successful. The Daily Express, the storm of the century. So we haven't experienced this in the 2000s at all. This is the worst one. We had bad storms, of course, in the 1900s. And we remember those. There are still scars on the landscape, and undoubtedly there are going to be scars from this one. The Guardian, Russian ready to fake cause for Ukraine attack. Quoting Joe Biden, and what Joe Biden is saying is, look, the Russians are quite likely to fire off a few rockets, say that the Ukrainians fired them at them, and then that gives them cause to go over the border. It's easy to do. And particularly in that part of Russia or Ukraine, because they are tending to be more Russian than they are Western Ukrainian in that part of the world. And having lived there and understood the circumstances, I do have a slight sympathy for their feelings, except who really wants to go back under an empirical yoke? That is very foolish. Nonetheless, Biden is saying, and whether he's acting on his intelligence or not, I have no idea. His intelligence services, not his intelligence, give me strength. But they making sure that there is some cause if he does go over the border by saying, hey, they shot first, they fired first. That was always the old West, wasn't it? Who shot first? Russia poised to invade Ukraine within days, Biden warns the allies, and that's the Financial Times. Financial Times is getting involved in that sort of thing, then we need to take it seriously. That's my bellwether, the Financial Times. If they are talking about what everybody else is talking about, then there's some concern. If they're not, then some of it is bafflegab, blowhard. The Daily Telegraph, Russia begins false flag attacks. Well, they're called various things. False flag is the same thing. Is you go and you shoot from the opposition's position and then say that they did it. And perfectly possible. The Times, Whitehall convinced Putin is about to invade. Boris is seen in the cockpit of a jet and saying that the Russians are about to go over the border, and that Boris is convinced of it. And I must say, from my knowledge of this man, which isn't terribly deep, but nonetheless, I have spent time in Russia. From the knowledge of this man is he is capable of anything. He's ex-KGB. He thinks that way. It is not, in some ways, it's like the mafia. A lawyer friend of mine who actually defended some mafia figures said, you know, the funny thing is that they see themselves as amoral, not immoral. And I think that Putin sees himself in the same way as amoral, right? I've got to be hard. I've not got to worry about emotion or conscience or whatever. But I'm not doing anything that's necessarily wrong. I'm only doing what the other side is doing. And that could be the way that he's thinking. The Mirror, inhumane, a Mirror investigation. The paper reports on its own investigation, which reveals how the social care crisis has led to thousands of vulnerable care home residents being forced out of their homes. Well, you know, because of everything that's been happening with ice cakes and all sorts of other things, including the economy with inflation and so on and so forth. We have, and with the war, we have been taking our eye off the ball and not looking at some of the things which politicians should. But then they love any excuse to not to deal with the real issues, and that's what the Mirror is really saying. It's the only one that's got the courage to do so. But there we are. The weather are pretty vile out there. It's pretty vile. Be careful when you go out, whatever you do. I'm not going to stay with you very long this morning because the headlines are all the same. We are on the verge of war. And I've been saying this for several days now, and for, several weeks, saying we should keep an eye on this. And of course the trouble is, if you say it too often, you get accused of being warmongering. Be careful what you wish for, that sort of thing. Well, it's not a case of be careful what we wish for. It's a be careful about what is likely to happen with all the signs. And much as we would wish it to go away, like 1939, is wishing it isn't enough. Let's hope that our leaders, of whom many are not statesmen, but paid politicians, I hope our leaders are up to dealing with it. Otherwise, the world is in trouble. That's me for this morning. I don't think I can. There's not much point in me trying to play something that's a bit funny, because the situation is not funny. Weather the storm, whether it be on the Ukrainian border or outside your house at the moment, looking through the window. Right, till Monday, and hopefully on Monday we'll be back again and trying to keep you up to date with what's going on, and making some interpretation of things. Let's just make sure nobody is making comment. No comments this morning. So what we'll do is we'll say toodle pip, and look forward to seeing you next week. Oh dear, it really is playing up this morning. Ta-ra.